We're on. So we're on the internet right now. Hi there. Welcome to the Edges Facebook page, #1 show at this particular time. 3 to 5 things we didn't have time to talk about today. I'm your host, Fred Kennedy, and I would like to thank our wonderful sponsor, Corey's Clothiers, 569 Danforth Avenue. That's where I got these shoes. Pialotis. They're really nice, and my wife likes them. And I'm not going to lie, we've been more physically intimate as of late, and I think these shoes are the reason, because she asks me to leave them on. First up. Oh, we're way ahead in terms of... Oh, yep, okay. First up, Space Cops. This is a wonderful Lego collection called Space Police. This is the new version of Space Police. You see, back in the 80s, Lego was introducing all kinds of other types of space Lego. There was Blacktron, and the original Blacktron guys were just wearing like a black spacesuit with like a little white print of like space gear, and they had non-see-through black visors on their helmets. They were badass. They were bad dudes. Blacktron, amazing. And then what ended up happening is Blacktron were the bad guys. They were forming like this evil Imperial syndicate, and there was the Space Police who were like trying to fight them. And then they got rid of Blacktron, and they made them Blacktron with like just a green bee on their shirts. Not cool. And they got rid of Space Cops entirely and replaced them with M-Tron. So it was B-Tron and M-Tron had magnets. So clearly it was Magnetrons, what the M stood for. It was pretty wild. It's probably why ICP was so confused. Why am I talking about 1980s Lego and Space Cops? Because my good friend Donald Trump is all fired up and wants to launch a brand new branch of the military called Space Cops. It's actually like the United Space Corps is what he actually wants to call it. And it's not even really Donald Trump. It's just Donald Trump is somebody who I could see thinking it is so cool to have a branch of the military called the Space Cops. The last time the United States military added a new branch was in 1947 when they added the Air Force. Originally, the Air Force was just a branch of the Army. This was actually voted in 61-1 by the United States Military Council because they feel that the United States is unable to defend any of its spy satellites, any of its communications array satellites, and they are realizing now in the new modern era of technological warfare that Russia and China are going way further ahead than they are in terms of space exploration and things like that. And here's the thing. So I love space. I think space is so absolutely amazing and super cool. But I'm really torn up on this. I am not... And the thing is that their idea of creating the Space Corps is also getting a lot of support in the United States Senate and in Congress. Whether it'll happen, I don't know. I think it's really cool for one or two reasons. Well, a lot of reasons. Do you know how many things that we have in our house only exist because of the massive space race that occurred in the 1950s and 60s? Almost half of the things in your kitchen would not exist if it wasn't for NASA and their unbelievable fight for spatial dominance back in the day. That's one of the things that the Cold War did. There are problems with it, though, and I'm not immune to seeing the issues of pouring billions and billions of dollars into new, renewed space exploration. There's this thing that they can't do in the States, which is get health care for people. They don't seem to be able to do that. Also, the environment is getting to that point where we could be past the point of no return, and they've got a guy on the trigger that seems to be wanting to push fast forward on that. But at the same time, like, look at that. Look at that horrible picture of pollution. That is just gross.
That's why they're focused on space. We need a new planet.
Maybe that is why they're focused on space, Madison, that we need a new planet, and that's exactly where I was going. And also, one thing that space exploration does more than anything else, and Neil deGrasse Tyson summed this up perfectly when he was on Bill Maher once, and he said, it gives people something to dream about and look forward to. And when we stopped going to the moon, we stopped dreaming, you stopped seeing newspaper articles about the house of tomorrow, the car of tomorrow, the plane of tomorrow. We stopped thinking about tomorrow and started thinking about what is that celebrity wearing. And it would be nice to see the focus of our mental capacities being pushed into something like, where can we go? What can we do? Rather than, what should I buy today? which maybe will inadvertently stop people from polluting so much, but I do really think that we really need to take a look at fixing the problems on our planet. I'm so torn. I love space, but I also enjoy breathing air and eating food, which are very important. Oh, Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield made a ridiculously dumb statement. He did this last week. I didn't really want to talk about it, but it seemed to keep spinning over the weekend. He said, I am essentially gay without the physical act. I am pretty much gay without the physical act. No, you're not. You're being dumb. And this is the thing, that he's researching for a role in a movie or something, and he's saying, like, you know, I'm pretty much gay. Me and my friends, after we're done work, we go home and we watch RuPaul's Drag Race. That makes me gay. No, it doesn't. It just makes you somebody that makes you realize that RuPaul is fierce and amazing, and that Work is one of the greatest songs ever recorded. You better work. I love that song. To this day, I love that song. It is an amazing song. You watching RuPaul doesn't make you gay, and when you say things like that, you know what ends up happening? People have more reason to be mad. I'm so sick of people having reasons to be mad. And you just gave them reasons to be mad. Because all those people that are like yelling at you, they're totally in the right. Totally in the right. Oh, God. I'm not going to say that I did something stereotypically that black people did and then go, I'm pretty much black. Meh. I wouldn't say that because I'm not an idiot. I wouldn't go, I did something stereotypically Asian. I'm pretty much Asian. No, I'm not. What I will say, though, is over the weekend I got really excited because my tomatoes are doing well. I'm pretty much a suburban dad. Because I am a suburban dad, Andrew Garfield. I can say that. That's my struggle. That I can get to, oh, it's raining again. It's cooling down the soil and my peppers aren't growing very well. I'm pretty much a guy who grows peppers. Because I am a guy who grows peppers, Andrew. Stop making things worse. I make things worse all the time, inadvertently. I don't mean to. But, like, how could you not realize that, Andrew? That's a giant red flag. That is a giant rainbow stop sign that says, don't do it. No! Moving on. Oh, the G20. That took place in Hamburg, Germany over the past few days. They broke out the water cannons. That made things pretty awesome. There was a lot of really clever protests. I really liked the Ash Zombie Walk. But why am I talking about the G20? Because of these two guys. Holy Jesus Christ, look at that picture. It's like two sphincters beneath a nose and two eyes. It's amazing. Oh my God, maybe they're the same guy. That is weird, isn't it? Like, look at their faces. Anyways, Putin and Trump had their first face-to-face meetings. First. And so they had their little meetings at the G20. Putin, of course, came out saying that Donald Trump is a guy. And Donald Trump goes, oh, it's pretty much a really positive thing. But the thing that really came out of the G20 for me was all of the reports about what was going on. And there's a lot of them out there. And there's a guy named Chris Ullman. He's the political editor for ABC in Australia. And he wrote, and I'm going to get this up at the Edge's Facebook page. This is one of the most poignant descriptions about how the United States has ceded its role as the world leader, the leader of the free world. What we already knew is that the President of the United States has a particular skill set, that he's identified an illness in Western democracies, but that he has no cure for it and seems intent on exploiting it. And we've also learned that he has no desire and no capacity to lead the world. Duh. Keeps going. So what did we learn? And dude, the way this is described is so depressing. We learned that Donald Trump has pressed fast forward on the decline of the United States as a global leader. He managed to isolate his nation, to confuse and alienate his allies, to diminish America, and he will cede the leadership to China and Russia, two authoritarian dictator states that will forge a very different set of rules for the 21st century. Some will cheer the decline of America, but I think we will all miss it when it's gone. And that is the biggest threat to the values of the West, which he claims so boldly to hold so dear. Well done, Chris Ullman, for making me want to eat a bullet today. Thanks, buddy. But it's true, man. Russia is all about the Paris Climate Accords. Russia. China. Insane. So, another thing that came out was it was very clear that all the G20 powers are very much more invested now in computer-based spying, in particular Russia, given the successes that they had with computer spying and hacking attacks on the American political process in the last election. That's just going to get more and more active, and we veer closer and closer to nuclear war as the bigger powers are unable to really stand behind each other and unite on anything. You know, I will say this. I played a lot of Fallout. It's not that bad. You know, there's ghouls, there's radioactive zombies, we eat giant cockroaches for supper. It's okay. You know, it could be worse. Okay, let's talk about something fun and exciting. Las Vegas. And you know what? I gotta take a sip. And thanks, Chris Ullman from ABC. Really depressed me on that one. Okay, Las Vegas declared marijuana legal 8 days ago. 8 days ago. In those past 8 days, they have made over $1 billion in tax revenue and also completely run out of the legal supply of weed already. Completely. They literally smoked all of the weed. The legal weed in Las Vegas. You can still get weed in Las Vegas. It's just not legal. So, we here in Canada are about to get legal marijuana. Next Canada Day, in less than a year, it'll be legal to buy marijuana here in Canada. That is absolutely incredible. The nation's going to make billions upon billions of dollars in revenue that can go towards things like infrastructure, social programs, other type things of that nature. I don't know, another few giant inflatable ducks to float around on all of our legs. We'll buy the ducks this time because I have all that sweet weed money. But I have a theory. What happens if we here in Canada run out of weed? I betcha that the government is going to step up with their own dispensaries. Do you know why? Marijuana busts. Every single week right here in Toronto, they're having massive marijuana busts. They're shutting down compassion shops and things like that. I think that they're stockpiling all this confiscated marijuana and they're going to start selling it at the LCBO. They've got a stranglehold on everybody's ability to get intoxicated in this province. They're going to start selling it. You just wait and see. They are about to hold a big strike right before Canada Day. Okay. That's what they do. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. They're about to go on strike before one of the biggest drinking weekends of the year. All of a sudden, have you noticed they're stepping up the busts? Am I wrong? You're seeing a lot more marijuana busts lately. That's because they're getting prepared to stockpile marijuana so that they can sell it all themselves and stay profitable. I'm on to you, Kathleen Wynne. I'm on to you. Moving on. Okay, listen. Andre Robinson, he's a guard for the Oklahoma Thunder, and he went to a club. He got bottle service, was having a good time with his friends. Now, look closely. He got a bottle of booze that was $487.13, and he tipped $13.87 to come out to $500 even. It actually looks like he said 97 cents, so that would mean it was actually $500.10. But his math is a little wrong. We'll just give him the benefit of the doubt. That's an 8 and not a 9, even though it's pretty much a 9. Am I wrong? Anyway, he got lit up by the waiter who served him this, saying, "You get paid $30 million for 3 years and you can't even tip me? You're a piece of trash." No, waiter. First of all, you're a piece of shit. You're a POS. Totally a POS. I worked in a restaurant for years. This wasn't a big bill, okay? That $487 bill, that's not him, like, bringing out all kinds of stuff. He brought out one bottle of booze, and the total cost of that bottle of booze was $487. One bottle. One bottle. The guy had to carry one bottle to a table, and he got $13 for it. To carry a bottle from one counter to another. He didn't walk more than 100 feet okay? He got paid more than $1 for every 10 feet he walked. That is a good rate of pay. And so, our good friend Andre Robinson, took to the internet to defend himself, and he told this complete story. And of course, the waiter staff are still like, you should at least tip 10% because, no, he shouldn't, man. It was one bottle of booze. One bottle. No. There's waitresses and serving staff that are bringing out like appetizers and drinks and desserts, cleaning up the table, giving pleasant conversation, etc. And the bill comes to like $32. And they don't get $13 as a tip. You should be grateful. You carried one friggin' bottle, man. But of course, as soon as the story breaks, everyone immediately wants to crap all over Andre Robinson and take the server side. You don't know how hard it is to be a server. Actually, I do, dick. I worked in a restaurant. It's not hard. You know what sucks in a restaurant? When you're the dish pig and you got to listen to all the waitresses complain while you're covered in crap. I've told that story before. It was terrible. Working as a dish pig was the worst. Or, what's even worse, this is awful. When you're the setter, and you're working as the setter and the busboy, and you're cleaning all the tables, and then you go and you're helping the server with their table, and they've got like a massive this happens all the time. They get a massive table of like 20 people, and like, it's going to be really complicated. If you could help me, I'd really appreciate it. And so they get this massive table, and you're like, oh, I'm helping you clean. Oh, you need dishes? I'll carry them for you. I'll just go around, I'll clean. Can I do anything for you? Totally, absolutely. I'll carry the drinks in. And then they get this massive bill at the end, and it's like $600, and they get a tip of like $100, and they're like, oh, okay, here's $5. You did half the friggin' work, man! No one cares about the busboy! Oh, the Loose Moose. First of all, I want to say this. I really enjoy going to the Loose Moose. It's got a great atmosphere. But I can relate to Andre Robinson because of something that happened to me at the Loose Moose. And whenever I think of the Loose Moose, this is always what I think about. After Fan Expo, which is the big Comic-Con here in Toronto, me and a group of like 8 friends went to the Loose Moose, and we were all having drinks, and we were all having dinner, and we're having a good time. My wife was pregnant with our second kid at the time, and so the bills came out. I threw my cash down on the table, and the thing was, and this is what I remember, is because when we were talking to the waitress, she was, or server, whatever the term is, we were talking to the server, and she was telling us that during Fan Expo, it's notorious for bad tipping because the nerds that go are always broke from buying ridiculous collectibles, and they don't have enough money to get anything and pay for anything at the restaurant at the end of the night. And so I consciously tipped really well. I think it was like $42, and I left like $60 on the table because I can relate to having crappy tips and crappy customers coming to a restaurant because I worked in a restaurant. So after I was done, I put my money down on the table, and I went out to call my wife and see how she was doing, make sure she was okay. All right, so then all my friends come out, blah, 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 we're all hanging out, we go out the next night. I wake up in the morning to a series of tweets from a few serving staff at the Loose Moose all shitting on me for being an asshole. What happened? Because I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what's happening at this point. So I tweet the people, I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, we know what you know what you did. You walked out on a $120 bill and you only left $3 for a tip. And I'm like, no, that's not. No, it was like 200 something because it was like 8 of us. And then so I asked, like, what are you talking about? What happened? One of our friends at the table did this move, and this is why I always make sure to pay in person with my server ever since then. One of our friends was like, just give it all the cash to me and I'll put it all on my credit card. And then he took all the cash, pocketed all the tips, and left $2 or $3 on the bill for the waitress who did all the serving and all the work. But the thing that pisses me off is nobody else at that table got shit on, just me. So it was my name that got dragged through the mud. And the fact is that tweet that she sent out sparked this massive tirade of people being like, yeah, he's an asshole, oh, I hate that guy, blah, 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 blah. By the time the manager found out about 2 weeks later, I'd already gotten well over 50 or 60 angry tweets and even pieces of hate mail to the station. All because of that. So, Mr. Douchey Waiter, Andre Robertson and I are pretty much the exact same guy. I'm done.